Are you exhausted just thinking of what we went through? We were, as drama after drama fell on us in the last few days of the transaction. At the end of the drama in part three, we finally got the seller to realize we needed an original deed in order to close the escrow. He had his staff check and supposedly found the original. This was overnighted to us. So we pick it up after that, and in part four, the question became, is this an original or a copy? We received what his office manager overnighted to us 2 days before the close of escrow. Mind you, we did not alert the buyer and his SBA lenders of the drama that we had been going through. It would have been extremely concerning to them and would have given them sleepless nights like it did to us. The buyer had deposited his final funds, and the lenders were poised to fund the loan the next day. We wanted to keep it that way, and we were happy we finally got that deed. So the end was in sight. But upon review, to our eyes and touch, this original, which did have the blue ink notary section, looked off. It looked and it felt like a printed color copy. It can't be physically or tactically shown in a slide, but there was something off. What are the tools that we use daily? With today's technology, top-notch color copiers, printers, and scanners can be used to reproduce high-quality and original-looking documents. We are all aware how easy it is for fraudsters to make fake documents with the right tools. We are cautioned time and time again, watch out for fraud, watch out for document fraud. I don't believe the seller or his office staff meant to quote unquote commit fraud. But what if I had closed escrow on a copy of a deed? Will the buyer's ownership come into question? In a lawsuit, can parties question the validity of the whole transaction because the most important recorded document was not an original? Can it then be argued that the whole transaction is void? I hope the answer to all these questions is a no, but I did not want to be a part of a court case to find out. So what did we check? The blue ink used by the notary looked off. The black ink of the notary seal imprint did not bleed through to the back of the document like it sometimes does. The signatures of the seller and the notary did not look like wet signatures, and the ink of the signatures did not smear when you wet it a little. There was a very, very light margin impression on the left side of the document that you might find on a reproduced copy. The paper was too smooth. It didn't look like it was handled. It looked like it was fresh from the copier. As I said, everything was tactical. You had to look and touch and scrutinize and go with your gut feeling. So was this the original? Should we go back to the attorney seller and say, hey, this is not the original? His probable response would have been, prove it. Who are you to say it is or not an original? That had been his standard belligerent response in past communications. Well, we had no proof. We weren't accusing him of outright fraud, but we had explained that recording documents had to be originals. And maybe he thought he could get away with it. Is that considered unintentional fraud? So we did the next best thing. We messengered the document to the title company as a third party who looks over all recording documents so that they could review it. This was their response. This is a copy. We alerted the seller. We are now 1 day before closing, and we need another real original signed deed right away. So what did we learn? Check your signed documents as they come in. Are the signatures signed correctly? Did the notary complete his section properly? Did he sign? Did the notary place a clear imprint of his seal? And as we learned here, we should also check to make sure it is an original, because it is never, ever smart to assume. This is Juliana, too, from Viva Escrow, and I hope this segment got you thinking. Part 5 is coming up, and there we have another question. Who can sign another original?